Hi, it's Kristen, and it's the Fortnight Frights readathon. I've been looking forward to this readathon since I heard about it, and it's finally come around. So this is just like a quick intro. I'm not going to be showing a TBR because my reading has been really all over the place lately. So I'm just gonna mood read. I have like some books in mind and some that fit the prompts, but I mostly want to mood read like day by day, see what books I'm feeling. Also, most of the books are my sister's, and one book is my sister's boyfriend's mum's. um, my sister just tends to own more like spooky horror related things. She's more into that genre than I am. I don't read a ton of horror or like thriller spooky stuff. I've read several in the past, some which I love, some which I think are okay, some which I've actively disliked, but my sister definitely has more of those types of books on her shelves than I have on my TBR. I have like maybe one or two kind of thriller books on my TBR, but that's sort of it. Whereas my sister has thrillers, horrors, paranormal, spooky stuff. So I'm definitely gearing my TBR potential books to her bookshelves. So, with that being said, the next clip will be when I start my first book, and you will find out what it is now. So I have started my first book for the Fortnight Frights readathon, and it is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I hope that's how you say it. I will look that up. I'm a little bit into it already. The chapters are really short, which I like because I feel like I get through them quicker. I have heard almost nothing but good things about this. I've had one negative review from my sister's boyfriend's mum, who this is her copy that she's kindly lent to me. She didn't like it, but she is the only person I've heard bad things from. So hopefully I enjoy it. I'm definitely intrigued. This is about a woman whose sister is a serial killer. Her sister has killed like every boyfriend that she's had, and whenever that happens, she rings the main character, and the main character goes and helps her get rid of the bodies and clean up, because her sister always claims that it's like self-defense, even though the main character doesn't necessarily believe her. So yes, that's as far as I'm into it, but I do know that the main character has like a crush on someone that she works with, and then her sister starts dating him, and considering how all of her sister's ex-boyfriends have ended up, she is not happy about it. So yes, I am intrigued to get to that point. And this book is set in Nigeria, which is cool because I feel like a lot of the books I've read recently have all been set in either America, like North America, or Britain. So yes, excited to read something from a different continent. Yeah, enjoying it so far. I'm only 27 pages in, so definitely need to get more into it. But yeah, looking forward to getting further into this one. So that is my first read for Fortnight Frights. So I'm about halfway through My Sister the Serial Killer. I'm really enjoying it. It's very frustrating though to read from Carday's point of view, and obviously she knows that her sister's a serial killer, but everyone else views her sister as like this lovely, pretty, popular woman who can do no wrong, kind of, and Corday is just like, no, she's a serial killer, but obviously is also very protective of her sister, so would never tell anyone, but obviously has a lot of tension with her sister, which then other characters call her out for and are like, why are you not nicer to your sister? Why do you always try and stop her from doing things? And yeah, it's just very, very frustrating. But that's where the tension of the story comes from. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, so I'm whizzing through it, so I'm gonna try and finish it today, hopefully. I haven't filmed in a couple of days, so I wanted to do an update. The other day I finished My Sister the Serial Killer. I read it almost entirely in one day. It's such a quick read, partly because the chapters are really short, like a lot of the time they're between like 1 and 5 pages long, but then the plot itself I think is quite intriguing. Like, it's not action-packed, but for a book this length I wouldn't expect it to be, and I think it's much more about the relationship and the complex feelings between the sisters. It's described as a thriller and it's marketed as a thriller, but I don't know, I guess it technically is. But yeah, it's much more about the relationship between the sisters than it is about like any sort of mystery or the killings themselves. So if you like thrillers, or if you like books about death and stuff like that, but you like the intricate personal relationship side of like plot and characters, then I'd highly recommend this one. So I finished that, and then yesterday morning I started Meddling Kids by Edgar Quintero. This is sort of like a Scooby-Doo-esque book. I'm just going to read you the back because I love I love the synopsis on the back. In 1977, the Blyton Summer Detective Club unmasked the elusive Sleepy Lake monster, another low-life fortune hunter who would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those meddling kids. By 1990, the former detectives are haunted by strange, half-remembered events that cannot be explained by a guy in a mask. Andy, the once intrepid tomboy, now wanted in 2 states, wants answers. To find them, she will need Kerry, the former kid genius now drinking her ghosts away in New York, with Tim, an excitable Weimaraner dog breed, descended from the original canine member of the club. They will also have to get Nate, the horror nerd currently residing in an asylum. Luckily, Nate has not lost contact with Peter, the handsome jock-turned-movie star who was once their leader, which is remarkable considering Peter has been dead for years. The time has come to get the team back together and find out what actually happened all those years ago. It's the only chance to end the nightmares and perhaps save the world. Having read that synopsis in the bookstore like months ago, I was so interested. And then my sister purchased a copy and she read it a while ago and loved it. So I'm finally getting around to picking one up, and this fits the sort of bingo board challenge for Fortnight Frights of a an author from mainland Europe, because Edgar Cantero is Spanish, I believe. So I'm only 35 pages in. Not a lot's happened yet, although Andy has tracked down Kerry, so I feel like maybe the plot will move along quite quickly. But that's what I'm hoping, because I think if this is fast paced, I could get through it quite quickly. It is like a 440 page book, which maybe isn't best for a readathon. But if I could get a good chunk of it done today, I'm working most of tomorrow, so probably won't read that much, if anything. But I want to get it done quickly. Good morning. It is the final day of Fortnight Frights readathon. I've just done terribly with my reading this week. I've been reading Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero, and I just reached part 2, which is page 93. So I'm that far in. Can I read all of this today? No is the answer. I am going to try and read as much as possible. I had wanted to read a whole other book that I posted about on my Instagram, but that is not going to happen. I could have been reading all throughout the week, like consistently, but I was not. There were days when I would read like several chapters, and then I would read nothing the next day, and then I'd read 10 pages, and then I'd read nothing. Yeah, so I've just been very inconsistent, so this vlog is going to be questionable at best. Yes. So, anyway, nearly 100 pages into this. I think I could get like if I just read a lot today, get another good chunk of the way through, but obviously I'm not going to finish it. So, another successful readathon. I will update you later, tomorrow, who knows? You will in just a moment. So I had a shower, and then I curled up on my bed in my pyjamas. I just put my pyjamas back on. I put on a read with me video. I've really been enjoying reading along to read with me videos lately. And I read some more of Meddling Kids. I'm on page 120 exactly now, and things are definitely picking up. The group of kids who are now adults are all back together, and they've just reached the town that they used to go to when they were younger, where they spent their summers, and they're sort of rehashing what happened when they were there originally, which we as the reader don't really know. We've got mentions of things, but they're all sort of obviously have some like trauma from whatever happened, so we don't really talk about it that much or skirt around it. So I want to know what actually went down. In terms of the writing, I think it is very readable. I'm getting through it quite quickly, but there's something about the style of writing that I'm not hugely fond of. I think he uses a lot of like descriptions to be like similes and metaphors of this thing's like this thing, a lot that I feel like is unnecessary, the amount that he does it, and he also throws in like, I don't know if they're pop culture references or just maybe trope mentions. He likens things to something that's happening to, it's like this thing happening that I don't always think the connection is brilliant. I'm not explaining myself well at all. Yeah, I think he overuses that kind of descriptor. I think every now and then would be fine, but he does it a lot. And I think sometimes he has a bit of a roundabout way of saying stuff, you know. Sometimes a simple explanation is better. Something you can say within like a few words is a better option than saying it in like a 2-sentence structure. But yeah, it is very readable. There's also parts of the dialogue that are just written as if like a script almost. So like here, that's just like 2 characters talking, but it's just written like Andy, what Andy says, Carrie, what Carrie says. Yeah, like a script. Instead of Carrie said, Andy replied, it's just, yeah, written like a script. And I don't know how I feel about that, because sometimes it will do it for like a couple of pages and I'm like, okay, I get the style you're going for, and then sometimes that will be included like mid-conversation and then go back to being like, Nate said this, Andy replied this, Carrie chimed in with blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and having the dialogue that way, and then yeah, I'll switch to that style, the script style, for like 2 sentences and then switch back, and yeah, I don't know. But I definitely think it has the nostalgic feel to it, and I like the Scooby-Doo vibes, because I love Scooby-Doo. I will give another update later. So let's do a quick wrap up. So yesterday was the end of Fortnight Frights. I know I'm in the same jumper, but I'm cozy. And yeah, let's just do a wrap up of Fortnight Frights. So I started reading several days into Fortnight Frights, because I had a book that I'd already started that I wanted to finish, but didn't really want to include it in Fortnight Frights because I was reading it for another readathon. So I started a few days in with My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. Really enjoyed this one. I whizzed through it, read it in 2 days. Probably could have read it in a day. I started it in an evening and then finished it the following day. But only like read that much on the first evening, and read the rest the next day. Yeah, gave this like 3.5 stars, but highly recommend it if you like books about like murder and death that aren't like a typical thriller, and that focus a lot on the characters and relationships between family and stuff. Yes, I definitely recommend this one. Really enjoyed this one. That ticked off on the bingo board a book by a black author or author from Africa. This is set in Nigeria. And then I started Meddling Kids by Edgar Quintero. This on the bingo board ticks off a book by a mainland European author, because Edgar Quintero is Spanish. I got 120 pages into this. I'm a bit further into it now because I've kept reading it, obviously. But yeah, 120 pages into this. I'm enjoying it, and now that I'm getting more into it, I'm reading it quicker. But there were a few days when I just wasn't reading it, and I didn't have massive motivation to pick it back up. But I will continue to do so. This one, I think, is quite slow in the beginning, as in 120 pages in, and they'd only just got to gone back to their little village that they spent their summers in. So I think you have to bear with it. I know that obviously they have to introduce characters, we need to know a bit of backstory about where they are now and how they got there from being just rambunctious kids. But I do kind of think we could have got some of that after they'd sort of moved the plot along a bit more. There are also points of this novel where I think the author is satirizing the genre and tropes of criminal mysteries, fun loving teenagers trying to get involved in the grown-ups sorting out the mysteries of the village. It's very Scooby-Doo kind of stuff. Yeah, there are points where I think he's satirizing those kind of things, in a loving way, as I love this genre, but I'm aware that these are things that always happen, or this is we're all very aware of these tropes. And then there are points where I kind of feel like he's just poking fun, and I don't entirely know what vibe the author was going for. Yeah, but I am enjoying it. I feel like it's easier to talk about things that you're not liking about something, or that you can point out the flaws of something more easily than you can point out the things you love. I do generally like the vibe of this, and I am intrigued. I'm not hugely connected to any of the characters, but I am interested and intrigued enough to want to know what's actually going on. I continued reading some this morning, and I'm 140 pages into it now, so I'm definitely going to finish it. So yes, interested to finish. I think if you like this kind of genre, you would like this, but I also feel like I can't fully say because I've not finished it yet. It could get way better, and it could get way worse. But I'm definitely intrigued, and mostly enjoying it so far. So yes, I thought having a fortnight would mean that I'd read way more books, but I read one in 2 days, and then a quarter of one over the rest of the time, or I wasn't reading anything. So, not super successful. But I mean, I read a book that I had heard really good things about and enjoyed it, and then finally got around to a book that I've been meaning to read from my sister's shelves for ages. So not a waste of time by any means. But yeah, I need to get better at readathons. I always make big plans and never follow through on them. So we'll see. Hopefully, if I do another readathon soon, the video will be more successful than this was. But I guess we will just see. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content. I know that this vlog wasn't wildly exciting. I don't know that any of my vlogs were wildly exciting. watching, and I'll bring you another video soon. Bye.